Welcome to African Unveiled. Ayinla, legendary tales. The village of Amuru, nestled by a gentle river and shaded by tall baobab trees, was known for its peace and harmony. But beneath its quiet charm lay tangled secrets, especially in the home of Adamu and Zainab. Adamu, a stern farmer with a heavy presence, often clashed with his wife, Zainab, whose beauty still turned heads even after years of marriage. One evening, Adamu overheard hushed whispers about Zainab's affair. The betrayal gnawed at him, planting a seed of vengeance. Zainab, unaware of the storm brewing in her husband's heart, carried on, hoping to mend their fractured bond. But Adamu had other plans. 15-year-old Amina, Zainab's daughter from a previous relationship, was the picture of innocence. Adamu, once a fatherly figure to her, began to change. His lingering stares and intrusive comments unsettled her. One night, while Zainab was away visiting a sick relative, Adamu crossed a line that shattered Amina's world. Her cries echoed through the compound, but the silence of the night swallowed them. "This is your mother's fault," Adamu hissed, as tears streamed down her face. The betrayal, masked as vengeance, marked the beginning of a trauma that would haunt Amina for years. Amina grew quieter, her once lively demeanor replaced by a hollow shell. Zainab noticed the change, but dismissed it as teenage rebellion. Adamu, meanwhile, acted as though nothing had happened, carrying on with his daily tasks while Amina suffered in silence. The village gossips whispered about Zainab's affair, fueling Adamu's self-justification. Amina, torn between fear and the desire to speak out, buried her pain deep within. She sought solace by the riverbank, her favorite spot, but even the calming waters couldn't wash away the burden she carried. At 18, Amina decided she had endured enough. She left the village, seeking refuge in the bustling city. The vibrant streets, filled with honking cars and colorful markets, were a stark contrast to the village's serenity. In the city, Amina discovered a harsh truth: survival required resilience. Her beauty attracted the attention of wealthy older men, and she learned to use this to her advantage. What began as a quest for independence spiraled into a lifestyle of materialism and superficial relationships. One evening, Amina met Suleiman, a charming and well-dressed man, at a high-end restaurant. There was something about his warm smile and confident demeanor that drew her in. He showered her with attention, making her feel seen for the first time in years. Suleiman, intrigued by Amina's mystery, pursued her relentlessly. Despite her guarded nature, she found herself opening up to him, unaware that their connection was far deeper than either could imagine. Suleiman and Amina grew closer. One night, during an intimate conversation, Suleiman asked about her past. "You carry so much pain, Amina. What happened to you?" he asked, his voice gentle. Amina hesitated, but eventually shared fragments of her story. She spoke of her stepfather's betrayal and the mother who never suspected a thing. Suleiman listened intently, his face growing paler with each word. Something about her story tugged at a long-buried memory. Suleiman couldn't shake the feeling that Amina's story was eerily familiar. Her mother's name, the village of Amuru, and the timeline all pointed to an unsettling possibility. He began to piece together the fragments of his past, recalling a love lost and a daughter he had never met. One evening, Suleiman invited Amina for dinner. As they sat under the dim lights, he asked, "What was your mother's name again?" Amina, puzzled, replied, "Zainab." "Why do you ask?" The shock on Suleiman's face was undeniable, but he hid it, unsure of how to proceed. Determined to uncover the truth, Suleiman traveled to Amuru. He confronted Zainab, who was stunned to see him after so many years. "Suleiman, what are you doing here?" she asked, her voice trembling. "I need answers, Zainab. Is Amina my daughter?" he demanded. Zainab's silence confirmed his worst fears. Adamu, overhearing the conversation, stepped in, his face a mask of defiance. "She's my family now, Suleiman. You have no place here," he growled. Suleiman arranged a meeting, bringing Zainab, Adamu, and Amina together. The tension was palpable as the four of them sat in a dimly lit room. Suleiman revealed the truth to Amina, who was overcome with shock and disbelief. "You're my father?" she whispered, tears streaming down her face. Adamu's smug expression faltered as Amina's pain turned into anger. "You knew, didn't you?" she screamed, her voice echoing through the room. The final confrontation was explosive. Amina, empowered by the truth, confronted Adamu for his betrayal. Zainab, racked with guilt, apologized to her daughter and Suleiman, begging for forgiveness. Amina, holding a photograph of her younger self, decides her next move.